Good morning, everyone. I'm going to do a little storytelling here because I'm going to be gone for about 4 days, and I want to video a few things and a little storytelling so I can edit and post it while I'm gone. And as you all know, this is my 60 crawler that came from my old friend Alan Rudolph. And according to journals I have, this crawler was used to power the Russell crushing plant that I have up at Baraboo. And I'll show you how that was done. This is, as it was called, a stationary drive, and those are the instructions for oiling it. As you can see, it's a stationary belt drive unit for the back of the 60, and I'll get into the instructions for the oiling when it's on the crawler and actually starting to use it. So now I'm going to show you the back of the 60. On the rear of the 60, this whole plate would come off in order to bolt the stationary drive unit on. And according to the instructions, in order to put oil in the bevel gear drive, you take this cover off. And I'll show you how they facilitate putting oil in there when the stationary drive unit is on. We're going to take a peek inside. There you can see the shaft that the stationary drive goes on, that spline. And there you can see the bevel gears. I mean, the inside of this thing is in just, looks to be in just, oh, there's a little surface rust there. But the gears seem to be in pristine condition. So now we'll go back to the stationary drive. Now here's the coupler for coupling the stationary drive unit to that spline shaft inside the transmission. And actually, Alan had another complete 60 and one tractor where the engine was removed out of it, but other than that, quite complete. But this is the only one I was able to acquire, and it was the one it is the one that was in by far the best condition, as far as you could tell externally. And I'm sure this was the one that the stationary drive unit was on, because this coupler was actually inside the tractor on the shaft. The stationary unit was laying on the ground next to the tractor, but this was on the shaft inside the tractor yet. So I'm sure this is the one that was used for powering the crusher. Now I'll go back to the stationary drive unit. And the pulley, just to give you an idea of the size of it. And the pulley does turn, but the input shaft I haven't been able to get to turn, so I'm certain I'm going to have to be pulling this apart. That bearing probably got moisture into it and is seized up. Hopefully it'll be usable once cleaned up. And if you remember, I said to put oil in the bevel gear drive on the back of the tractor, you would put it in through the opening where the stationary drive unit bolts on. So when this is bolted on, you take out this plug and pour the oil in there, and it goes through a channel in the stationary drive unit and out this hole into the bevel gear drive case of the tractor. And this is the shift lever to shift it in and out of gear. And it's obviously in neutral, as I can turn the belt pulley right now. And now I also know that this is a breather after watching Squatch's video on his D2 stationary drive unit. And I broke it loose, but I haven't taken it out yet, and I'm going to take it out and shine light in to see what the internals look like. So this will be my first look at the inside of it. I'm going to have to get a light and look close. I'm sure you aren't going to be able to see. You can see some of the gears there. There's oil in the bottom. There doesn't appear to be, only some very minor corrosion on the gears there. So I'm sure when I take it, get it cleaned up and flushed out, everything will be fine inside of it. I'm going to try and do 3 things at once here. Hold the flashlight and the camera and turn the pulley. Better. You can see the oil coming around as I turn the pulley. And obviously, take it in and out of gear. It moves the gear on the output shaft into mesh with the other gear and back out of mesh. So that's actually much better look inside than I thought I was going to see. I wanted to get the cap back on here. As you can see, it's raining out, and I didn't want to get any undue moisture inside. I just thought I'd finish this up with the battery went dead and it was raining out, so that's all the videoing I got on the stationary drive unit. There'll be more to follow, because my plan is I'll first try to start the 60 with the bar and the flywheel the way it's meant to be started. But before I beat myself to death trying to start it the conventional way with the bar and the flywheel, I plan on putting the stationary drive unit on the back so that I could belt it up to the power unit on the back of my Oshkosh and crank the engine over that way. So that'll be a little bit down the road yet, and I hope you enjoyed this little bit about it, and thanks again for watching.